Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Trust you're all doing well. You're happy. You're smiling. Once again, apologies for the late start, but as I said, we had power outages and we had to wait for the power to come back on. So as I said, very interesting. My name is Leroy Slava. I'm the co-founder of PropertyPick, and this is my partner and my sister, Candace van Wyk.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Yes, Candace van Wyk here. It's good to be back with you all and good to be back with you this week again, Leroy. So looking forward to this time together.
Yes. So guys, this is our second Get Property Wise with PropertyPick. And we'll be doing this every week on a Wednesday, 1 o'clock. Now, this week we did start slightly late, but obviously there won't be electricity issues every week, I hope.
Yes, we hope so. But,
okay, so basically, I think before we get into it, let me just tell you about PropertyPick. So PropertyPick is an online property platform that connects investors to good property deals. So if you have any good property deals which you believe are investment opportunities or are below market value, then load them onto the platform for our investors. And if you are an investor, subscribe to the platform and you'll have access to all these amazing deals first. So that's what PropertyPick is. It's an online investment property portal that connects investors to investment opportunities. So go check out the website, like our pages. As I said, we'll be doing the Get Property Wise every week. And Candace will tell you more about why we started it, and she'll tell you about what our topics are, what our topic is for today, and what our topic will be for next week. So like, comment, ask questions, and we're looking forward to spending this time with you. Candace?
Awesome. Yes, thanks for that, Leroy. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, so we started our live chats last week, and we will be continuing with this. And one of the reasons why we also want to do this is because we want to just add value, you know, to our existing subscribers on our website, but also to you out there, you know, just educating yourselves more in the area of property. What Leroy also forgot to mention to you is that from about 2016, in 2015, early 2016, we've been educating people in the areas of property. So we've had the opportunity to educate people in property, you know, across South Africa. Various cities, various regions that we visited over the last couple of years. So yeah, this is really one of our passions, is to really help people get more property wise, so that they're able to make better decisions going forward, whether you are wanting to sell your property, whether you are wanting to buy property. We want to make sure that, you know, as we connect with you every week, that you're going to get some good insights from us, and we'll obviously be able to answer some of your questions as well. This week, we will be covering how to save your home after COVID-19. As many of you can imagine, I'm sure you've seen on newspaper articles and on the news that we've had about 1 million jobs lost so far just during this COVID-19 crisis. And it's anticipated that, you know, in the next couple of weeks, that number is going to go up to 4 million. So as you can imagine, I mean, a lot of people will be going through a lot of difficult times in the weeks to come. So we just thought this topic is very relevant for the time that we are in at the moment. You know, so for those of you who are maybe facing some financial challenges and probably maybe, you know, also facing maybe you know, possible repossession of your home, or you anticipate that it's going to move into that direction, we just want to share some options with you that could potentially help you, you know, just to save your home, because that's the first thing, is that we really want you to be in a position where you can save your home. And once, you know, we've shared these options with you and you've explored these options and you find that you're at a place where you really can't save your home, then of course, you know, PropertyPick should then be the last option for you to actually list that property. And then of course, you'll have the opportunity to then sell it directly onto investors. So, okay, Leroy, I think you can get right into the options.
Okay, so if we look at firstly, hi Devil, hi Veja, how are you guys doing? Good to see you. So if we look at a few options to save your property during this time, I would say that I think the first one would be that obviously is the banks have communicated that they are willing to make arrangements and give payment holidays. So I know on two of my properties, I have got payment holidays for 3 months. So I think the first thing you want to do is contact your bank, advise them of your situation. Let's say that you've lost your job or your business is closed because you can't deliver the services, or you got short paid. I know some people got short paid 20%, 50%, 30%, whatever it is. Then contact your bank, and immediately, actually, that's the first thing you do, is contact your bank and let them know that, listen, the company has paid me short, or my business can't function during this time, or I've been short paid. So please, can you give me a payment arrangement or payment holiday for 3 months while I get my finances and I get this in order? And by then, hopefully, you are at a place where you can start making the payments again. So I think number one is first contact your bank, make the arrangements. Do not just keep quiet and say nothing. Contact your bank and ask for a payment holiday. All right, Candice, do you have anything on that point there?
Yeah, so I think that's definitely an option for us to explore. The other thing that I want to mention to you is that for those of you who are maybe wondering if it's going to affect your credit record negatively, you remember, just check that with your banks. But with most of the banks, what they're doing is they're making sure that for the time that they're giving you that payment relief option, that it's not going to affect your credit record negatively in any way. So whether they are allowing you a flexible option to pay it off over a period of time, or they're extending your term by another 3 months, that will obviously be, defined and confirmed with your bank. But all I'm saying is that don't think that if you take this option that it's going to negatively affect your credit record. I mean, I've had various conversations with different banks that have also contacted me, and that's definitely not going to affect you negatively in any way should you decide to opt in for the payment relief options. Also, just remember that on some of the banks that even though they're not going to be charging you anything for this period or having that expectation of payment, should I rather say, just remember that some of the charges will still apply. So just make sure you get all the information from your banks.
Okay, that's good. So guys, yeah, if you can make the payment arrangement, so that's number one. Then the second option would be, Candice, I think you cover this one, is to start looking at your budget.
Yeah, and I mean, we just want to obviously just mention at this point that we are not financial advisors. So please, ladies and gentlemen, we want to make that clear. We are not financial advisors. So, we're really just sharing some of our insights and our guidance from this perspective. But obviously make sure that, you do validate and confirm all the information with your financial advisors before you make any decisions. But okay, as far as budgetary adjustments are concerned, so I think for any person, if you are going through a difficult time, at this stage, or you're anticipating difficult times, I mean, it makes sense to think about how you're able to adjust your budget. And I mean, I don't know if you're all familiar with this, but there's various ways that we can have a look at our budget and see where we can make some adjustments. And I mean, one of the things is that, maybe just looking at some of the unnecessary spending that you've had, maybe over the last couple of months or couple of weeks, and just see how you can maybe just tweak that a little bit, taking out some of those expenses. I know the situation has obviously allowed a lot of our budgets to drop significantly as a result of not being able to really enjoy life the way we used to. So I think that's already helped us from that perspective. But then also things that you must remember is, if you've got car insurance, for example, you are able to check with your insurance company to see, if they have applied the necessary adjustments, because every time the market value of your vehicle decreases, there should be a reduction that is actually passed on to your premium as a result of that. So those are some things that you can check out with your insurance companies as well. I mean, also think about things like, for example, if you are on DSTV packages, for example, is there an opportunity maybe just to, downscale to a lower package, or maybe reduce it altogether? I don't know. I mean, we've got multiple options now, in terms of internet, Wi-Fi. I mean, there's YouTube, there's Netflix. So sometimes sometimes we just need to think about those things and see where we are able to make some reductions. Also look at your Wi-Fi connections if you do have any at the moment, and see if there are better, cheaper options, more affordable options out there. So I think as a whole, look at your budget and see if you are able to make some monetary adjustments in terms of just reducing on some of the services or experiences that you've been used to over the last couple of weeks and months. I don't know if there's something else from your side, Leroy.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. I think, yeah, DSTV. Another thing is, listen, if you have to sell the car, sell the car. If you've got the car and it's costing you more than what you can afford, let it go and get a cheaper, reliable car that obviously, and that will save you costs, and you'll be able to cover your expenses or save or whatever it is. So you will have to look at your expenses and see, listen, what is unnecessary, what is necessary, and where can I save so that I can potentially take some of that money and pay my bond or pay my expenses.
Yeah, no,
so no,
sure.
that's good there.
Okay, some good tips there.
And then another option that you can look at is if you have a property that potentially has a garage, has a granny flat, has a back room, or it might even be that you take your house, if it is set up like that, and if it is set up that way, and you split it in two, where you divide your house in two, and you live in the one section of the house, and you rent out the other section of the house, or you convert the garage and you rent it out as a bachelor unit, or the granny flat, or if that is an option for you, that as well, because let's say your bond is let's say 10,000 rand, for example. So your bond is 10,000 rand, but you've got a granny flat, you've got a garage, and you can divide the house. Let's say if your house is set up that way, where you can have divided into two, which means that you can get, let's say, 3,000-4,000 for the granny flat, get 2,000 for the garage, get another few thousand for the section of the house, and with that could cover your bond and your expenses on your property, which means that now you are living for free in your own house. So that's also an option that you can look at. Look at your property, obviously see if there's demand for the rental and what are the rentals in that area for bachelors, for granny flats. Go to Property 24 and go to rentals in your area. Go to 1-bedroom flat, 2-bedroom flats, and see what the rentals goes for in your area. And that will give you an idea of what you can rent out your granny flat or your bachelor or your house for as well. So that could also be an option that you can look at. Okay, would you like to add to that, Candace?
Great stuff. Yeah, so I think those are very good options. Something else that I'd like maybe to add to that is, so let's say, for example, you're also living by yourself at the moment and you maybe have a room or, an extra room or two. I mean, another option to think about at this stage is, basically sharing your space. So maybe inviting a tenant, to come and rent a room, but obviously you need to make sure you're comfortable with whoever you're going to be bringing into your space. You kind of have a relationship, so you know who you're dealing with, but try and find out, if there's ways to actually share your current home. I mean, living commune, and we believe that that's going to be a trend that's going to be picking up more and more going forward. So something for you to also potentially think about. And maybe you can also do it in such a way, as Leroy mentioned, where you are able to subdivide maybe that space off completely. If you've got maybe, you've got the right facilities on the other side. But if not, then, I mean, you can consider to potentially bring in those conversions. So, of course, you need to make sure that you do your research, make sure that the opportunity is there to get a tenant, and so on. As he mentioned, we will be doing more of these webinars and these live chats every week. So there will be a session where we will be talking to you about how to run the numbers, again, some of your opportunities that you are considering, so that you can see whether you're going to be making a profit or a loss. So just to give you some insights there. But yeah, so I definitely think about what you've got at the moment. And I think the main message here is find ways to maximize the income potential from your current property. Yes. And that could potentially help you going forward.
Yeah. Okay. And guys, listen, you that are watching, comment if you have any suggestions of ways that you've converted your property, or you've got any, if you have converted your property or you're renting it out, comment, tell us what you've done in the comment section. And if you've got any questions, any ideas of ways that you think that you can save your property, interact here. We'll answer all the questions the last 5 to 10 minutes. So if you have any creative ideas or you have converted your property, then tell us what you've done. We'd like to know.
You know, there's just one more thing that I want to mention as well. So I'm just thinking about it. So, you know, maybe you might not be able to do some of those conversions straight away, but one of I mean, my guidance would also be, depending obviously in which city and region you are in, I think it's also important to get a list of, you know, the zoning definitions from your local municipality. Some changes have been implemented across some of the municipalities across South Africa where, for example, you know, you don't have to get approval on some of the conversions that you're making if it's obviously within that zoning definition that has been defined for your particular residents. So I would suggest is, you know, get that from your local municipality as soon as you're able to, just a list of zoning definitions. Also know exactly what your zoning is for your property, so that you can obviously see what is allowed and what is not allowed, and then obviously so that you just know how to you know, approach that opportunity going forward, just to get some insights there.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And Candice, you know what else I'm thinking about? Look, yeah. It might not be. You might only have to do this when we get out of the lockdown, when we're at stage 1 or finish with stage 1.
Yeah.
You might be looking at, listen, is my house close to a university? Is it close to a tertiary education? Is it where? What's the demand in that area? Is it close to factories? And then say maybe let me convert it into student accommodation. Obviously, you will have to get to the municipality, get the necessary approvals on that, and that could be something that you look at. But obviously, that's location specific. So you have to be close to tertiary education, close to university. When we get out of lockdown, so that's not possible.
Tertiary
now.
Institution, you mean?
Tertiary institution. Thank you. What did I say?
Tertiary education.
Tertiary education, yeah. Tertiary institution. That's why we have Candice. Hey, that's why I'm not doing this alone. Thank you, Candice.
Awesome.
Tertiary institution, guys. If you're close to any tertiary institutions, you could potentially look at that when we get out of lockdown, and when we get out of lockdown, you could look at Airbnb as well. That could be an option for you as well.
Yeah, so Airbnb, we obviously know now it's not a good time, but of course we believe that this situation will settle with time, and we believe that we'll obviously get back to some sort of normality again. But yeah, that's definitely an option. And even with, you know, for those of you who don't know the Airbnb strategy, I'm sure many of you are familiar with the platform. For now, I would say, you know, just go and browse the platform, see what it's about. But basically it's about providing accommodation, you know, to people who are, you know, tourists, or they're visiting different cities and regions. So it just becomes a more affordable platform for us to find accommodation. So that's something that you could explore as well. And you could even do it with your own residents. You know, there's other options as well. I mean, one of the things, remember, Leron just reminded, now we spoke about the rent-to-rent options. You know, yes. So that's also a strategy that you could potentially pursue, you know, where you've basically, obviously, once again, you need to do area research. And I maybe think, Roy, one of the things we need to maybe bring in the next couple of weeks is definitely a session on area research, because we keep referring back to it. So I think so that people just basically know how to do the area research. But, you know, so once you have identified that there's obviously some sort of demand in your demand in your area for some of those accommodation that is required, that's something that you could potentially also set up.
Oh no.
Okay, so.
Okay. Okay, guys. Sorry, man. We just had another power outage here, so it's been a bit of a. So yeah, what a day! What a day! What a day! But anyway, so those are the options that you can look at. Another option that you can look at is, as we said, rent it out. Maybe go live with your sister or your parents. That's something that you can look at. And look, if it gets to a place where you cannot convert it, the bank doesn't want to give you arrangements, you can't, you don't have any more options, and you have to sell, then you have to sell the property. Unfortunately, if you cannot make arrangements with the bank, you cannot get tenants in to rent it, you cannot convert it to anything, and then you'll potentially have to sell the property. And obviously, then if you need to sell it, if you can't make another option, then that's your option. Then what I would do is I would see what properties are going for in the area. And what I would do is I would check on Property 24. I would pull a Lightstone report on it and see what the property is worth, and contact us if you need to sell it. And what we can potentially do is that then you can load it onto the platform, and we can see if we can get an investor to buy it. Or so, but there are a few options that you can do. Another one that I'm thinking about now is to, if your house is in a public, is in a busy road or main road, what you can do is you can put a signage and advertise on that signage. Put a sign up. You could get 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, depending on what size sign you put up and depending on how busy the road is. But you guys start to see that there are options that you can use and that you can think of. So you have to be creative. All right? So what do we say? Make arrangements with the bank, check your budget, see if you can rent out areas of your house, the granny flat, see if you're close to universities, Airbnb. These are all when we come out of lockdown. See if you can do that. And check for signage if you are in a main road. And then if your income has been cut, or you have lost your job, or your business is not doing well, let's look at what the need is out there now. You might have to start selling something. People are selling masks now. People are selling, what else are they selling? Sanitizer, gloves, whatever it is. You need to see what the need is out there and see, listen, where can I find this? How much can I get it for? And how much can I sell it for? Be creative. Start a second income. Start a third income, because as we can see right now, that one income is not enough. All right? So guys, I think those are, but if you have gone through it and you don't have other options, cannot make arrangements, you cannot rent it out, you cannot look at your budget and find more money, you cannot create a second income, and you have to sell your property, then contact us on www.propertypick.co.za and send us an email, and let's see how we can help you and see what we can do to help you. Might have to be, we put your property on the platform and see if there's investors that are interested in it. So yeah, so those are some of the options, guys. We don't want to keep you long. We did start slightly late because of the electricity. It actually went off again now. That's why I jumped up to go see. It went off again. And so guys, thank you for long. Next week we'll be on time, and technology will be on our side, electricity will be on. But thank you guys for joining us. Candace,
I'm back now. It seems I'm back now. So sorry, everyone. There was another power cut there, and yeah, I just got kicked off the platform. But anyway, let's hope we can get this done.
And guys, we live in the same area. We're actually brother and sister. So we don't live far from each other. So if it eats her, it eats me. But yeah, praise God, man. But anyway, so it's every Wednesday, 1 o'clock next week. Candace, tell them what we're having next week.
Yeah, so next week we're going to be having one of our Uber Power Team members joining us. So her name is Natasha, and she's going to be talking to us about really, about how Uber actually sees the, the property market at the moment from an investor's perspective. And especially for those of you who are also maybe looking to take advantage of the opportunities during this time and obviously what's coming, because of course there will be a lot of opportunities for property investors as well. So she's just going to be sharing some of her expertise, her insights, and just be sharing with us, how we can actually approach the banks at this time, and how we can take advantage of some of the opportunities in terms of interest rates and that type of thing. So we're really looking forward to that conversation. She's really experienced in terms of her role, so we really believe that we'll be able to get a lot of value from her. She is then one of Uber's business development managers, and she will be taking us through most of our chat for next week. So please do join in, stay connected, and follow these on a weekly basis. And as we mentioned, we're going to be having some cool topics as we move forward. But even after the sessions, if you've got some questions there, please leave them there so that if we don't get to address them during this session, we can always have a look at it next week.
Okay, good stuff, guys. So thank you for joining us. Remember, subscribe if you are looking for deals. Subscribe to PropertyPick as an investor. If you have investment opportunities, load your properties onto the platform. What we do have for our investors, we've got legal documents, OTPs, lease agreements, freehold, sectional titles. We'll be loading spreadsheets on there. So there's exciting things coming. We'll be talking about our power team, which for our investors, which you'll be able to connect to. So it's exciting things coming. We're excited, guys. We hope you found that valuable, and we hope it helped you. But as I said, if you have more questions, send us the questions. Check our website out. Send us an email, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a blessed week.
Bye-bye.